Hi, this is Masenya of Masenya Attorneys Incorporated, a law firm based in Centurion, Republic of South Africa. We boast 24 years of legal practice in the areas of commercial and tax laws. My professional team and I have over the years proved great success in assisting numerous clients with a myriad of commercial and tax matters involving millions of rands. We are skilled, experienced, qualified, and have the capacity to assist you. Email us at clients@cntlaw.co.za or call us 011-318-6592 or 084-383-7747. All consultations are strictly by appointment.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Uncle Solomon. Good to be with you today, and I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining me. Please let me know where you're watching from. Are you in Africa, up in North America, or Europe? Please do let us know where you're watching from, and let us know how you're doing also. If you haven't subscribed yet to this YouTube channel, please do so right now. Just click subscribe. And also do not forget to click the notification button, just so anytime we put out a new video, you will be the first to know about it. So thank you so much. Really appreciate each and every one of you. For those of you who are South Africans who are trying to get more information around what's been happening in the last 4 days around the CRL Commission's Section 22 committee. It's a CRL commission against the church in South Africa. It's a government trying to take control of the church. Well, go back, watch the last interview I did with the chairperson of the CRL Rights Commission, Toko Kaluva, and you're going to find more information. Please do so immediately. But from the news that I've been making the round the last few days is the issue of a pastor, Pastor Robert Morris, who has been a pastor for so many, over 3-4 decades, basically. A very well-respected pastor, well-traveled, written so many books. He pastored one of the biggest churches in the U.S., Gateway Church, in the state of Texas. But after so many years of unconfessed sin, the sin sort of like caught up with him. Has God forgiven him? Yes. You know, that's why I always tell people, you cannot just go sin against somebody and just go and into your room and pray God to forgive you. And then God's forgiven you, all right, but you think that's okay. Forgiveness is two-sided. First, you go to God to ask for forgiveness. And secondly, you go to the person that you have sinned against and do what we call restitution. If you've taken something from them, take it back to them. If you had said things that were not right, go back and say, I said this and this and this, I'm sorry. If you have violated them, go back and ask for forgiveness. And in the case of Pastor Robert Morris, whose ministry is quite huge, and a lot of us in Africa, do follow him, So he's a former pastor of one of the biggest churches in Texas, and he pleaded guilty to child sex abuse that took place over 30 years ago. Robert Morris, the founder of Gateway Church in the outskirts of Dallas, would serve 6 months in an Oklahoma jail under a 10-year suspended sentence and register as a sex offender. Under the plea deal, Morris will also pay the survivor, Cindy Clemishier, $270,000 US. A lot of you Christians would always come and say, well, this thing he did was like 30 years ago. Why is it only coming up now? Guys, don't be so myopic and narrow-minded. The law is the law. The law is the law. So you want the victims to just be quiet. If the victims decide to keep quiet, that's fine. If they decide to come out and say, look here, he did this to me 30 years ago, 40 years ago, it's all still appropriate. But a lot of us Christians just think, especially you guys that do not know and have not dealt with some of these victims, do you know how much sexual violation and rape and assault damage a woman or a victim, or it could be a man? Do you know how much that does to somebody? You have no idea. All these years, if he had gone back and asked for forgiveness, I've done that a lot in my life. When I really got serious with God, got saved, I had to go and confess to people things that I did. Some of them were aware of it, some of them were not aware of it, some of them they just felt, but you don't need to apologize for that. But it's all partial restitution. But to us Christians today, they teach us the part of forgiveness. Go to God and God will forgive you everything. But they do not teach us how to restitute, how to go back to the victim and ask for forgiveness. So here's a video of Pastor Robert Morris. And by the way, this guy was a spiritual advisor to Donald Trump, the president of the US. So I'm talking about a very powerful man here. He had access to the president of the US, Donald Trump. He's well connected, politically well connected. Here's a video of him after pleading guilty and taken away, where he's going to serve it. That's him right there, as you can see. The sheriff taking him up. He's all handcuffed. His hands are cuffed in his suit. And he also pleaded guilty. So his name is going to be in the sex offenders list. That means he's not supposed, there are certain restrictions that is going to be upon his life. He's not supposed to be at certain places. Technically, it's almost like he cannot pastor anymore. This is a very powerful man you're looking at, a once very powerful man. Very powerful man at one point. Let me play that video for you again. A once very, very powerful man, now totally disgraced and in shame, and taken away to prison. There's a comment here that I would like to chip in from Overcomer. He says, this wasn't a quiet situation. Our parents dealt with this over 30 years ago. This was settled in privacy among the church leadership. What do you mean settled in privacy among the church leadership? That's my first question. Should this actually be settled privately? This is a criminal offense. This should have been reported to the police. At that point, because it's a criminal offense, you're not just going to settle criminal offense privately. Matter of fact, if you settle a criminal offense privately, you're going to be in trouble with the law when everything comes out into the open. When somebody violates or sexually abuses another person, a leader in authority, using their position and their authority to abuse another person sexually, is a criminal offense. It's not for the church to settle. No. You must report this to the police. But a lot of us just want to deal with it privately or privacy. Why you want to deal with stuff privately? Why? Do you know maybe she was manipulated, or her family was manipulated at that point to deal with it privately? Now, after 30 years, it's coming to the open. So just to show you that dealing with it privately wasn't the solution at all. Parkour says, nobody is above the law and immune to accountability. Very simple. Pastor Maurice was a very powerful man. And you can see where he's at today. Overcomer is also saying, why her parents didn't press charges 30 years ago? They agreed for him to go to counseling. Forget about why they press charges or they don't press charges. Do they have the right to? Does the victim have the right to press charges today or not? She has a right. So let's not look backwards and try to justify whatever. She has every right to do what she did. And that's what we should be talking about. Don't begin to blame the family, her parents, or don't begin to blame the victim. You don't subscribe to them how to handle the situation, or if they feel the situation was not handled well 30 years ago, of course, they can always bring it up. I want to mention a few things. Pastor Robert Morris, at one point, was very powerful spiritual advisor to Donald Trump. So obviously, if you're in that position, you almost feel untouchable. Be careful not to get to a place where you feel untouchable, not to get to a place where you feel nobody can tell you what to, not to get to a place where you feel you're all powerful. Number two, when a victim comes out and tell her stories 10 years, 20 years, 30 years later, believe her. A lot of us Christians begin to criticize them. Why do you have to wait for so long to do that? That's not the point. That's not the point. Do you know how that victim for 30 years have been carrying this pain? You don't deal with victims, so you'd have no idea what victims go through. Number four, a lesson from him. When Robert Morris was brought to court, immediately he pleaded guilty. He confessed and he said, yeah, I did that. And we must see that from a lot of leaders. I'm expecting to see a lot of that from leaders. He didn't defend himself, didn't say I did it, I didn't do it, didn't try to there's no any, he went to court and pleaded guilty. Guilty or not guilty. If he had pleaded not guilty, then there's going to be a trial, there's going to be, a whole lot of long process to it. But from day one, he pleaded guilty. I guess that's why he didn't get a longer sentence. But you will not believe that a powerful man, as powerful as Robert Morris, do you know how powerful that guy was? He's going to jail. And I want to say to all the charlatans and false prophets, very soon your day is coming. Whether you plead guilty or not guilty, and you get caught, you're going to go straight and serve time. And we must be aware of that. So that way we must learn. How we learning? So many different ways. Our leaders learning. And please make sure you do that. Thank you so much. God bless you. Have a good day.